Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are you feeling today? Oh my goodness. Okay, so unfortunately, technical issues happen all the time. This laptop is unable to be used right now. So I'm gonna ask the AV team to put up the slides up for me, and then I'll just, kind of look around here. But I really wanted to acknowledge and thank the choir for such a beautiful song. Actually, no, I'll have to stand up here. Because that song, America the Beautiful, really brings out like this patriotic feeling, and I saw it in the congregation standing up and singing along. But, I was thinking, just reflecting there, like, who's the most patriotic for America? And I think I have to give it up to our founders, Father and Mother Moon, who we endearly call our true parents. So let's give a hand to our true parents. And the reason why I say that is because we know true parents have spent more than 40 years of their life here in America, shedding blood, sweat, and tears for the sake of this nation to be able to stand up as the nation in which our Heavenly Parent has created, to be able to serve the world. And so today, my sermon title is Mother of Peace, as you see that. Who here knows who the Mother of Peace is? Okay, most of you. Then I guess my sermon's done. Yeah, thank you, guys. No, okay. My inspiration for this morning's service or sermon is actually 2 weeks ago. I participated in a leaders meeting over Zoom, and President Dunkley challenged some of us, saying, "Hey, our sermons could be based off of the Mother of Peace, and actually the book itself." And he said, "I even challenge you to just study the book, but not just study the internal content, the inside, but even the front cover." And so today I want to talk about the front cover of the book, like literally the front cover. But also, there's 3 segments to the front cover that I want to divide it into, and I want to share my reflection and my understanding personally based off of the cover. And so if we look at the front cover, the first part in biggest letters is the word Mother of Peace. You can even see that the title right up there. And so if True Mother is my mother, and of course I was born as a second generation of this unificationist faith, true parents gave the blessing to my parents. So without true parents, I cannot be here. Without my parents' commitment, I cannot be here. And they're committed to the blessing, the marriage blessing, because they believe in the ideals of our true parents, which is blessed families can create a peaceful world. And that's why Mother is the Mother of Peace, because she, with Father Moon, spread and multiplied this blessing. And so that means as a direct son, or a direct result of that blessing, I need to understand that I'm a son of peace. It's not just that true parents are the father and mother of peace and we're all just other people, but I'm actually their child, their son. And I need to uphold what they stand for, which is peace. And in the Divine Principle, our main scripture, it says in the introduction that in order to build a peaceful world, there needs to be peace and harmony between the husband and wife. But even before that, there needs to be peace or harmony within yourself. As you know very well, we had a slogan or a campaign a few years ago before the pandemic hit: peace starts with me. Peace needs to start within myself. And so I want to share a story of how I kind of practiced that just a little bit. I'm still very young, but if I can show the next slide of my photo, because actually just only a year and 3 months ago, I too received the blessing of marriage with my beloved wife. Her name is Sena. She's sitting over there. Stand up, Sena. And yeah, it's only been a year and 3 months. We're a very young couple. And as young couple goes, I think you may still, I hope you still have the passion for each other, or maybe think back and remember the passion of being a new couple. It's exciting. It's, your heart just want to jump out and be like, oh my gosh, I want to give everything. I want to give my whole world to you. But also, there are some fallen natures and selfish thinking that come with myself as well. And I just want to share a quick story of, our early time. On the photo on the left was the day we received the blessing. And then the photo on the right is actually after the blessing, my wife, because she's from Japan, she went back home to Japan, and we were separated for 4 months. And then the photo on the right, shows the first day I arrived in Japan. And we were just able to have this nice time together. And because of this excitement of being a young couple, I wanted to call every day. Like after I came back home from this trip that I had in Japan, I was committed. I was like, you know what, Sena, let's call every single day. Actually, leading up to the blessing, I've heard many testimonies from my older brothers and sisters that, in their matching process, they would call every day, maybe even up to like 4 hours. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I want to be able to do that. Like, that's something I want to be able to continue practicing so that we, especially because we're international and physically distant, to always have like that closeness with each other. So it was important for me. And however, for Sena, in her mind, she did not want to call every day. She didn't think that calling every day was necessary. And she understood that, she has her own schedule. She knows how busy I am. I have my own schedule. And so it's going to be challenging. For me, I rebutted against that because it's like, well, if we really love each other, if there's true love, we can overcome this challenge, no? And she also thought by spacing out the calling time, it would be much more, she can look forward to the call more. And if we do it by once a week, then she can always think about accumulate all the experiences that she's had in that week, and then just be able to share all full-heartedly and excitedly in that one call. I didn't understand that. I was like, no, let's call every day. I was like, and then it's just like, no, it's every week. And I was like, okay, how about every other day? Like, you give 1 day rest? Like, no, every week. She wouldn't budge. She is a strong woman, guys. But I love her for that. Because, at the end of the conversation, I was thinking about it in that short split second, and this thought came to me. Yasu, what's more important? Being right about what I think and my own opinions, or the relationship that you're building with your wife? And I was like, oh, my conscience. Why do you have to be so loud and clear? I already know the answer. And I had to, let go of that feeling, or not the feeling, the idea, my thoughts of calling every day first, but instead putting my wife's opinion and thoughts first. And so I first came in terms of peace with myself. I was like, you know what? It's okay. I don't need to be calling every day. The fact that she still loves me and that she's still looking forward to the call is an expression of love that she is showing me, and that I should be one to receive it that way. And then, once I came to that conclusion, I told her, okay, yeah, that's fine. We can call once a week. And she was happy. And so basically we called every week, once a week. So I feel like, that's such a simple example. It's just one example between our relationship that we've had. We've struggled in many other things and disputed in many other things. But, that's just me in my world, where I was able to practice being at peace with myself and also extending that peace to my wife. And I want to really give credit to true mother or true parents. Because without that title, Mother of Peace, I wouldn't have come to that thought that I'm actually a son of peace, and I need to show that, be that example, be a model as a blessed central family myself. And then the next point that I want to bring you to is actually right under is the power of prayer. And if we can go to the next slide, I have to come down. So at the top, on the bold letters, it's right underneath the title of Mother Peace. It reads, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes." And these are, in the past week or past 8 days, if you were able to join the New Jersey Chuncheon prayer call vigils, we were reading a lot about Mother going to different areas around the world, like to Africa, to Europe, talking about the Japanese members, and many countries within Africa, and even South America. And the first quote from page 294, this is Mother speaking. There, together with Goree Island Mayor Augustin Senghor and his wife and many local officials, I offered a prayer for the liberation of all Africans who died as victims of slavery. And then the second quote, "The first thing I did whenever I got off an airplane in South America was offer a prayer to liberate and comfort the anguish of those people in the spirit world," page 299. A little context about that second quote is before that quote came up, Mother was sharing how South American countries were fighting for their independence from their colonizers. And they would win and gain their independence and freedom. However, unfortunately, that independence was taken over by dictators and fascist and communist thinking people. And so many people were unjustly killed and persecuted and couldn't really live free even though they were an independent nation. And that really blew me away because even in my own day-to-day life, I am not so aware of the spirit world. But through True Mother, being able to come to these places where the history is so dark and many people were sacrificed or suffering, she was thinking about those people and offered a prayer. And now I try to put myself in the shoes of those people. Maybe if I was born 200, 300 years ago, I don't know any better. I get separated from my own family members. I can never see my parents again, my siblings again. And then I'm being pushed to work for the rest of my life with ill treatment. And then now I suddenly get sick in this country that I don't even know where I'm in anymore. I got shipped overseas. And then I die from this illness because there's no good care. If I was in that kind of situation, nobody even knows me. Nobody even knows that I existed. Nobody would care. And I'm roaming around in the spirit world, seeing so many people come and go, not even able to claim my own descendants. But True Mother was the one who was able to acknowledge and recognize the hearts, the painful hearts of these people, and offer prayers for them, and really liberate them from the anguish that they carried on into the afterlife. And so this has helped me understand the power of prayer, of just thinking about the spirit world. It really comforts the people's heart. Well, then what about here on earth? What if I can pray for other people here on earth? Well, of course, spirit world, and for my brothers and sisters here on earth. And the True Mother's brilliance is that she actually gave me a second amazing gift. First was the blessing of marriage, and then the second was Chuncheon, the prayer hall. Now, Mother, I know we must be hearing a lot about, expressing about Chuncheon, let's pray in the Chuncheon and go there and offer our devotions and prayer. But for Mother, it's really a part or a piece of her idea of wanting to elevate all of our spirits and connect to our Heavenly Parent. Because there is, and for me, it's still unexplainable. there's this unexplainable significance of praying at the Chunshimwon. And it's that the fact that our U.S. branches of Chunshimwon is connected to the one at the HJ Heaven and Earth Training Center in South Korea, the main one that was first established. And and there's been a lot of experiences that brothers and sisters are already having. Like the 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Friday morning, I got to participate in 2 of them 2 weeks ago and just this past Friday. And the first 2 hours is all about testimonies. People, Korean leaders, going through different churches and sharing about the testimonies of people, their members, praying at Chunshimwon, and they're like, wow, miraculously they're healed, or they feel much better and lighter in heart, and their problems are progressing to a better state. And also, just this past Tuesday at a leaders' call, I heard even our brother from the Belvedere Family Church, Mr. Taj Hamad, he had an experience where he wanted to go to Chunshimwon in Las Vegas, but all of a sudden, he had a really swelling on his right leg, a spot that popped up, and it was just, and then he went to the doctors in the emergency room. They couldn't figure out what it was. They gave him some antibiotics, but it wasn't working, and it was just getting worse day by day. And the day was getting closer to his flight to go out to Las Vegas, and he was in pain. And then all of a sudden now, he enters the Chunshimwon in Las Vegas, and boom, just like that. It's like really, like magic. He testified that the swelling was gone, the pain was gone. The doctor said maybe it was because you sit too much and that you're not moving your body enough. But then, Mr. Hamad is saying like, well, that doesn't make sense because he was sitting down throughout the rebirth workshop that he was participating in. That's why he was at Las Vegas. But because he was at Chunshimwon, when he stepped in there, the whole swelling and the pain was gone. I cannot explain what that is, what happened there. I don't know. It's really an experience that you need to have personally. And so that's why I had the privilege to go to this rebirth workshop that many people are talking about early June. But I understood the content. I really received True Mother's heart from Reverend Dunkley's expression of it. And it was really mind-blowing, and it was amazing for me. But then when it came to the prayer time, when I would go into the Chunshimwon, I was like, I am not comfortable doing this resonance prayer. I was shouting, Abuji! Amani! I'm like, wow, everyone's really into it. And I'm just like, dear Heavenly Parent, thank you for today. I really felt Mother's heart. And just kind of not even like wording it, but just in my own mind. Because I'm not used to or comfortable praying that loud. And so then I come home, and already almost 2 months passed. And I'm like, something in me was like bothering, like, I think I need to give it one more try. I can't give up on it. Like, I know that we're also connecting to the International Chunshimwon prayers. But it's 3 hours, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm like, I could be spending time with my wife at home, or I could be doing some other work to move forward in that. It's like, 3 hours is so much. But I was like, you know what? Before I give up on it, I just want to give it one more try. So I went there 2 weeks ago. I was starting to fall asleep. And then for the first 2 hours, it was all testimonies. And in the last hour, we got like little movement. We stood up and we were shouting, Abuji, Omoni, and we were hearing representative prayer. So I wasn't even praying yet. And then now unison prayer comes where I got to pray. It was like only 5 minutes. And I was like, wait, I'm only praying for 5 minutes out of the 3 hours? What was that? And then it ended, and then I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go back again. I'm not feeling the spirit. I don't feel like I was able to really gain something out of that 3 hours that I attended. But while I was thinking about it and talking with my wife, something was compelling me to like, go back again, try it again. And so I was grappling with that thought this past week. And then now Wednesday and Thursday's hitting, and all of a sudden my attitude was changing. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to go back and try it again. But this time, not be so cynical about it and just put myself in there and give 100%. Shout and pray like how they are asking me to, because they think they see that there's something amazing that can happen. And at that time, I was thinking, okay, so what do I want to pray about? And because of this past week, the prayer vigils that we host 6 a.m. in the morning has been about True Mother going to different places and offering prayers to liberate people. I thought, I got the idea, maybe I want to also pray for other people in Chuncheon. And so Friday hits, this past Friday, I go again. And, I think with a better attitude, those 2 hours of testimony felt much quicker. It gone by quicker. And I was able to really recognize and see like, wow, like people are having incredible experiences. Even if it's not like a physical change in their body, at least their spirits are being uplifted and that they really feel Heavenly Parent or True Parents' love. And then so now came time for my own prayer. And yes, I shouted, Abaji, Amani, as loud as I can. And I voiced out my prayer as loud as I can too. And then suddenly, actually, my mom that morning told me that over breakfast, saying that, it's really good to shout out because you just pull out everything from the insides, leaving yourself completely empty. And I think it might be true. Thanks, Mom. Because when I started shouting and saying my prayers, I felt like I emptied myself, which gave the Holy Spirit the chance to fill my spirit and fill my body up. Because all of a sudden I started tearing up. When I was praying for another person about most I was focused on youth and young adults. Like, this youth by name is dealing with depression. This person is dealing with schizophrenia. This person is dealing with mental illness. Then just the heart of caring for them. And this voice or this understanding of, thank you, Yasu, for praying for my children. I felt like I heard God say that. And I started crying. And will my prayers make an impact on their lives? Well, I don't know until I have to check up on them and be like, hey, anything new happen? Or do you feel better or something? Maybe that's one way for me to get confirmation. But maybe it's not even that I need confirmation. It's because from inheriting from True Mother's attitude of just, I pray for you because I care for you, because I love you. That's all I need to be able to make the offering to our Heavenly Parent, and then Heavenly Parent will take care of the rest. But I really want to emphasize and express that, I'm sharing my story right now. But it really doesn't do enough justice for your life unless you go and try it out yourself. Because from your perspective, my story is just another story, someone else's experience. And so I really want to invite you guys to, give it a try. Go to Chuncheon prayer room and just belt out your prayers. Don't worry about the other people who are praying next to you. And just really make that time special between you, yourself, and God. And this power of prayer helped me understand deeper just that my role as a ministry leader is not to be the one that has all the answers for people who are in need, but is a role to help guide people to Heavenly Parent, for them to be able to cultivate their personal relationship with our Heavenly Parent. And so that's what that little slogan underneath the title, Mother of Peace and God Shall Wipe Away Their Tears, has helped me realize. It wiped my tears, God wiped my tears. True Mother has wiped the tears of so many brothers and sisters in the spirit world. And I hope that I too can be someone in the future as I continue on this path of faith to wipe other people's tears as well and give them comfort, sense of comfort through my prayers. And then the final point that I want to make is the only begotten daughter. Actually, at the very bottom of the text, oh man, sorry, I should have prepared well. I was supposed to bring a book with myself, but I'm going to read the final bottom text. It says, Mother says, for the first time, I'm opening up a window into my life. I do so with the hope that the story of this life, lived in accordance with God's love, will inspire in others the same mission, passion, devotion, and dream. For the first time, she is opening up a window of her life. You know, a few weeks ago, I was in a conversation with one of the young adults here in our community, and he was staffing at a Divine Principle workshop, and he told me that, oh yeah, you know, one thing that I recognized the pastor mentioned was the Old Testament in the Bible was alluding to Jesus or pointing towards Jesus. And then the New Testament of the Bible was pointing towards the second coming of Christ. And then it kind of dawned to me, is like, you know what, you're right. That pastor is right to say that. And we understand that from True Parents' teachings. But now I'm not a historian, and I haven't done much research or study of different religions, so I could be wrong, and that's okay. But in my own personal experience, I have never come across a religious text that was alluding to the true Eve or the only begotten daughter throughout human history. And for me, it made me think, after reading that bottom text on the cover, is like, oh my goodness. How can we, like, who was really prepared to receive the only begotten daughter? In human history, I don't think anyone was really ready to receive the only begotten daughter. And it filled my heart with so much sadness because, you know, True Mother is come as the mother of all humanity, but unless she was able to express it or testify herself, no one would have received her. And no one, would have been able to receive her and understand her true role as the only begotten daughter. And, you know, when Mother first testified and shared about that she is the only begotten daughter back in December 2014, everyone was like, whoa, that's awesome. But what does that mean? I don't get it. Like, what does it really mean to be the only begotten daughter? And so it helped me to understand just the importance of Mother's position. Even though if I do not fully understand it, I've read the Mother of Peace 3 times over, but you know, just reading the Gaudible session, listening to it, there's always new things and insights that I can gain. And so that's why I know the words that True Mother is speaking right now, the actions that she's taking right now is very much important for me to be in tune to and to think about. Because as the only begotten daughter of all of humanity, she has a perspective that she is bringing to this world that I need to inherit and understand. And most especially because I'm a man and I don't have a woman's mind. So to be able to understand her, listen to her well, and see the actions that she's taking, it'll help me to be able to understand through our True Mother, Heavenly Mother's heart. And I know most especially right now, Mother's words, or our Mother has been stressing about witnessing and also thinking about North and South Korea reunification. I haven't really thought of what could I do to support North and South Korea reunification at where I am right now, but at least I could pray for it. And when it comes to witnessing, I know that we're in this period of 40-day condition leading up to True Father's 11th anniversary of Seonghwa anniversary. And so I'm thinking maybe I can offer as a gift to True Father one person that I can bring, whether it be a school friend or whether it be just a friend or of someone that I know who aren't necessarily not so familiar with Father. And I'm wondering maybe that's what I could do. The fact that I said it, I don't know if you guys are going to hold me accountable for it. That's kind of scary, but that's my desire. That's what I want to be able to make an offering to our beloved True Father and really celebrate his holy ascension by being able to bring one of his son or daughter to that celebration. So yes, in conclusion, just from that, the front cover of Mother of Peace, it helped me to realize, just with some of the text, that I myself am a son of peace. And I need to live like that and uphold that kind of standard. I understood the power of prayer and how prayer can really move people's spirit and lives. And that also helping me understand that the Chunshimon Prayer Hall, there's some wonderful and significance to it. And finally, understanding deeper and the importance and the value of True Mother's position as the only begotten daughter. But again, each of these points was my journey. And it only makes sense if you yourself is able to take that journey, study Mother's words, and to try and reflect deeper on what kind of life that you can live alongside with our true parents at this time. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. Really appreciate it. And God bless you all.